to death. Not enough to damage the bones, but, not a pretty sight. Unless you're into that kind of thing, of course. I didn't mean to be rude, Sam.
Well, you were, Tara. You can't talk about Nick like that.
What did I say? It was only the truth. Poor Sam. Now that Nick is gone, everyone in town hates you. I mean, I don't. Why would I? It's not my job you destroyed. You're not the cause of all my problems. I mean, that's what you did for pretty much all of Basswood, but not to me. So, I don't hate you.
Thanks for the confidence booster, Tara. I'll see you around. It's supposedly the spirit of coal. Doesn't really belong here anymore. He's owned this bar for almost a decade and still can't afford another employee. Walter can be overwhelming at times, but he means well.
So I had to throw them all out on their ear, and only then did I realize.
Ah, Samuel, my favorite ex-muckracker. Join us, join us.
How was the funeral?
Wasn't there. Setting up for this.
Everyone came, most of the town, it felt like. A sea of sad, wet eyes. I gave the eulogy. Felt hollow. So hollow. He worked for me for years. For years, my best reporter. What do you even say about him?
Remember that article? Something about stoplights? No one cared, but he did. Months of effort.
Yield signs. He approached each story with his pen like a knight wielding a sword.
It's the small things. Like he always kept his window down. Said cars made him claustrophobic. That's how he stays with us. The little details.
I remember the bar bets about that safe spot at Pac-Man. He got me one night.
Yeah, got me once too. Can't believe it's real.
Enough about Nicholas, enough. Tell me, how have you been, Sam? How have you really been?
I spend all day doing nothing. I don't even count days. They just blur together. Nick's death barely hit me. It was like a pinprick compared to just everything.
Time heals most wounds. Some it just makes worse. Sounds like you need something to pull you out of your rut.
Well, I think I've taken enough of your gents' time.
Go, mingle, circulate, but you must join us for an actual round later. You must.
Oh, Walter, can I ask you something?
Questions are the fountainhead of knowledge.
Nick's crash. Was there anything suspicious about it?
I asked myself the same thing. The very same thing. It did seem odd. Young Nicholas, a careful man in all things, including driving. I looked into it myself. You know what I found?
What?
A tragic accident with nothing amiss. I am both relieved and saddened to say.
Ah,
Life is rarely like a crime thriller, and while I don't mind you asking, some might find it a distasteful conversation at a man's memorial. Especially from you.
I'll keep that in mind.
See that you do, my boy. See that you do.
Dennis, bitter and jaded. He's even worse than the last time we spoke.
People leave you or they die. That's the only way anything ends.
Declan lacks subtlety, but he loves this town like no one else.
So, Sam, how's life been treating you?
Could be better. My best friend just died.
No need to snap at me, Sam. I ain't the enemy here. And your allies are in short supply, so be careful what you say. You staying in town long?
Not really. Why? You think I'm gonna disturb the peace or something?
Wouldn't be your first time. Have a nice evening, Sam.
Can't believe this whole thing's still working.
Daddy, 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 open your eyes and wake up. The kids and I've been busy, and we got a little something for you that's gonna make you smile all day. Daddy, 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 daddy. But when the lights are out, it's time for me to show you my love. And I've got a feeling you've been pleased. So, daddy, 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 sit yourself down. Now you should know how much.
Anna used to play it almost every night. She stopped after her father's accident. Has it really been 2 years since I saw her? She hasn't changed a bit. Anna?
Sam! I've missed you. Why'd it take so long for you to darken my doorstep?
I won't lie, it really hurt coming back. I stopped by Lookout Point on the way here.
Sam, why'd you do that to yourself?
A desire to open old wounds? The old-timers gave me hell when I came in, too.
People around here have short tempers,
And long memories.
but most of them mean well. Sam, the mine was gonna close anyways. Maybe in a year or 2, 5, if the Lord has a sense of humor. It was gonna run dry or have an even bigger disaster. It wasn't your fault.
I wanted to help. I was trying to make things better.
You always do. Try, at least. When my father lost his legs, nobody knew the mine wasn't following regulations. You were the only one who started asking questions. Whenever people talk about you, he always says, you did the right thing.
Yeah, well, your dad's Joe. He's an oak. Unmoving and annoyingly supportive.
It wasn't just him. Nick thought your piece was great. He was actually jealous. He always wanted to write something that shook the pillars of heaven, as he used to put it. You know, Nick and I had moved in together. Started to get serious. But I think it's only now I realize how much I cared for him.
But you and Nick started going out? When did this happen?
A few months ago, he never told you? He asked me to let him be the one to say something. You two had been so close.
He probably tried. I hadn't been answering his calls.
Ah,